Oh shit! Nick, wake up! Wake up! It's time.
It's time
The
for
last
what?
matches are in. The last matches. Koei has finally done the matches. We're good. We can go.
Oh shit! On God, dead ass. Okay, all right.
How much have you been drinking?
You don't want to answer that question. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Double Dip Draft Week 7-ish. For
week 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5 first. 7 and 1/6. Do the hand things. Come on.
6, 7. No. Yeah. Well, welcome back, Double Dip Draft. It is week 7 currently. We still have one match to make up from last week. Gibles versus Sylveons.
Yep.
Had a lot of trouble making their times align. And not helped at all by the fact that Koei was away this weekend.
Yeah.
But it got done. So we are going to be covering the match that was not available last week now. Then look at the final standings of week 6. Analyze who needs to do what to still make playoffs. And from there, go into how those matches went.
Yes, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Koei versus Shamal. Looking at the teams, they are very similar. The only new thing here really is Palmot from Koei side.
Yeah, Palmot is debuting in the final week here.
Yes. But that's all in the past. Let's get to the here and now. So let's see how the match goes, see how they do.
We've got a Registeel, we've got a Pelipper, and we have got no more Pelipper.
Yep, a nice clean Thunder from Registeel. Didn't even know that thing got Thunder, but here we are.
Registeel gets a bunch of random electric-based move, and most of the sets, most of these teams have been made with me and Koei together earlier in the week. It was Claire actually who came with the suggestion of speed creeping this Registeel so it can outspeed Pelipper.
That is fun.
Which I love collaborative efforts like that. Yeah, and yeah, we see that this Registeel is toughing it out against this Archelodon.
Yeah. Archelodon opting not to set up another sub, just getting rid of Registeel. And now we have Absol coming in, not Mega Evolving, once again.
Yeah, the name is not a phase, but evidently it is actually a phase because this Absol is...
Absol
it's just staying itself for now.
Yeah, never wants to grow up, and honestly, so valid.
Yep. Nice little flip turn. This thing Swords Dances, which... Yeah, the fighting type moves are going to annihilate this thing, so he smartly gets out of dodge.
Yep.
And then Koei makes the choice to stay in against this thing, who she probably didn't realize it's faster. Also clicking Thunder, which she has Thunder on a bunch of different Pokemon. It was all to deal with Pelipper, when presented with the opportunity. Also, her linchpin, Melodic, just dying to this thing is unfortunate. And this thing is actually a huge problem for her team. And now it's gone.
Yep. That was a nice final gambit from Victini. And then a huge Thunder Miss. I don't think it would have killed Tornadus. Actually, yeah, no, it definitely would not have killed Tornadus. The second one would, but that's also assuming Shamal opts to stay out with it.
Yeah, we do see the Cloverberry proc on the Dragapult, so it ends up not taking too much damage. And
here we
not
go
here quite
out
yet.
Into Palmot. Palmot able to get a nice double shock read, picking up the kill on Tornadus. But here, Barraskewda is able to just gonna come out, click Aqua Jet, and I mean, you tell me what can live a Sucker Punch at this point.
Yeah, Kui actually is about to make a great play here. Like the Will-O-Wisp onto this thing is very nice to try and play around a Sucker Punch. But this thing is so not threatened by Dragapult that Shamal ends up not even going for it. Like he just clicks the knockoff, and unfortunately, even while it's burned, a Sucker Punch resisted into a Mega Absol does over a quarter of its HP.
Yeah. Mega Absol, not exactly known for its bulk, is going to fold over like paper to the might that is King Gambit, the comeback king. Throwing away the Palma and letting Mega Absol getting so chipped down early on in that game really kind of came back and just invited King Gambit to come back in and be able to do what it does best, which is,
reverse sweep.
Yep.
Yeah. Kui, unfortunately, when the Barraskewda comes in, opting to sack the Palmot instead of the Absol is what made this endgame into the situation that it ended up being in.
Yeah.
Because Palmot against a burned King Gambit can actually live a Sucker Punch, even at 5 Fallen Allies. But unfortunately, that's not how it played out. And Shamal ends up walking away with another 1-0 where King Gambit's the only thing standing.
Hey, yep. That's what King Gambit does best. But with that, let us now go over the Week 6 standings, if I can get the image open. There we go. So this is our complete better view on OBS. This is our complete look at Week 6 or end of Week 6 standing. Going in, we've got top 4. We've got Spood sitting at 5-1 with a differential of 11. Claire is sitting at also 5-1, albeit with a differential of 5 in second place. Third place, we have Shamal, 4-2 with a differential of 3. And then we have Kracked Kricketunes sitting at 4th with 3 wins, 3 losses, and a differential of 7.
And coming up the rear, we have Canadian Clod Squad with 3-3 +2. The Sydney Sylveons at 3-3 -3. The Northern Ninetales at 1-5 -7. And the San Antonio Jolteons yet to take a win at 0-6 -18.
Yeah,
yeah, looking at what needs to happen and who has what goals this week, looking at the 5-win players, Cody and Claire, they're just playing for wins. If Cody wins his match, he comfortably keeps his first place spot. If he ends up losing and Claire wins, Claire will overtake Cody.
Yeah. Going at Gibles, meanwhile, is, at this point just playing to more or less keep that 3rd place spot. If they do win and Claire loses, they can actually wind up taking 2nd place.
But on the flip side, if they lose their match and the Canadian Clod Squad and Kracked Kricketunes both win theirs, or in actually no, the head-to-head would always go to the Gibles. So yeah, if the Kricketunes and the Clod Squad win their matches, he can still drop out. He is not guaranteed playoffs quite yet.
That is true. Yeah. So going at Gibles, definitely aiming for a win. One, just to stay in playoffs, but also doesn't hurt to have a little bit higher standing either.
Yeah, definitely. Being 3rd place is, in theory, preferable to being lower. Mm-hmm. It just determines who you end up fighting in week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Kricketunes, 3-3 +7, that's such good differential. If they just get a win, that's it. They're going on to playoffs and potentially over the Gibles as well.
Yeah. which is really important because in Week 7 they are going up against the Golden Gate Gibles. So very, very important matchup for both of these players that neither one wants to lose.
Indeed. And then we have the Clod squad, who actually also like is still able to make it into playoffs at this point. They need the Kricketunes to lose because like their differential is just like too much higher. So they need the Kricketunes to lose like for themselves to win, and they can like sort of like swap that spot around. Or if the Golden Gate Gibles end up
yeah, but
actually, if it's
Kricketunes versus Gibles,
like one of them
loses. Because if Canadian Clod Squad win and Gibles lose, even if it is just like a 1-0, as long as Milo, also gets a 1-0, that still puts their differential above Golden Gate Gibles at that point.
True, yeah. I didn't consider the fact that the Gibles and the Kricketunes are fighting, so like one of them is guaranteed a loss. Yeah, God, so many of these matches are so important at this point. Like the top six, like all top 6 matches, because all of top 6 is fighting each other, and every match here has implications for playoffs.
Yep. Well,
like
almost every match here.
That's how I'm saying top 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, top 6. Top 6. Every single match matters. But going into Week 7. Our first match does not. Our first match is purely for glory, for love of the game. I'm of course talking about Lysander Wolf, coach of the San Antonio Jolteons, versus Firebolt, coach of the Northern Ninetales. Let me switch. There we go.
Yeah, it's like you said. Like this match. The only thing on the line here is pride. As soon as one of Lysander's Pokemon dies, like even their respective final positions can change. So like this is just a pure like Firebolt walking away with 2 wins instead of 1, or the Jolteons managing to squeak away with just 1 win and having this whole division with everybody having at least a win.
Which, Firebolt, the homie, I definitely do like it, though, when everyone gets at least 1 win. Though I also know Firebolt has not loved how this season has gone for him, so, I'm always in my boy's corner.
True. Firebolt has been with us for, like, quite a hot minute. Lysander, meanwhile, like, coming in as a newcomer. So it's a double-edged thing. Like we want like the newcomers to like have like that one match that they can be proud of.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a win. So I don't know. It both people have like merit to like be rooted for here, I feel.
Oh yeah, 100%. And looking at team preview, I mean, again, like not too much different. Lysander Wolf, he's got his usual, Terra Captain. Well, his triple Terra Captains, I should say. Gastrodon, Tauros, Porygon Z. He's got his Umbreon, his Metagross, his Mega Manectric. Firebolt, we see his Wartortle's back. We also see the premiere of Rapska.
Yeah, I always love it, like when people are bringing the Pokemon that they haven't brought yet in the final week. Just to like, show them the sun, take them out of the basement they've been hiding in this whole time.
Yeah. I always find that to be like the scariest. Is like, oh wait a second, you brought the Pokemon that no one's seen until like the final week. What do you mean? What are you planning?
Yeah, what's the idea here? Like you had an idea when you drafted this Pokemon, and clearly your intention is to like use whatever idea you had here and now.
This degeneracy will not stand on the final week. How dare you, good sir?
I'd say let's hop into it and see how this plays out.
Agreed. So
we've got Gastrodon, we've got Rapska, and Rapska just immediately like ripping a fat Bug Buzz and just immediately like chipping away at a bunch of different Pokemon.
Yeah, there is no reason to just not keep clicking Bug Buzz at this point. I mean, nothing on San Antonio's Jolteon's team appreciates it except for this. This is the only Pokemon.
yeah, this is the only switch in, and even then you have to be careful not to switch in on a psychic.
I'm not too sure about the Earth power there. Maybe trying to predict Metagross coming in, but like even then, like, especially now that we've seen that Energy Ball comes out. And at this point, now we have a lot more back foot. Starting off with a really strong lead, but going out into War Turtle and just letting it get chipped down by Tri-Attack.
Yeah, War Turtle's job mostly this week was to like get in the way of physical attackers, hence why it's like more physically defensive build. And Fireball's kind of like throwing it at special attackers, especially like into this Gastrodon, who's just like recovering off the damage. It just ends up dying for no reason, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now that we've shown off Energy Ball earlier, there's no reason to stay in. And we go hard Darkrai, and not wanting to stay out, take the Bullet Punch afterwards. You know, Firebolt has gone from like a really commanding lead to pretty strong, or maybe not even a commanding lead, but a really nice solid lead to being put on the back foot.
Yeah. We do get this Nidoking in and this Nidoking. Like, as long as Fireball's able to just like fire off special attacks, he's feeling pretty good. We saw this Earth Power do 36 before. And the damage roll goes all the way down to 31, which means that like 36 probably like around the max damage, 31 probably around the min damage.
Yep.
Roughly.
We get some nice highs, we get some nice lows. So with this now, Nidoking can't break through Umbreon. And Umbreon is able to just sit here and just keep clicking buttons.
Yep. Firebolt, like threatening this thing now with a close combat, ends up close combating into the Manectrics, and even with the Intimidate and the Mega Boost, it's still faster, it's still OHKOs.
Yeah.
Or well, not OHKOs, but finishes it off.
They're a nice Earthquake from Metagross, and now at this point, there's not a lot of things that can really threaten Umbreon and Gastrodon at the same time. Granted, I don't remember what percent Gastrodon is at. Maybe it's pretty low at this point.
Yeah, good read on the Protect though. Like using it to set up these Stealth Rocks definitely will pay dividends later.
Yep.
One problem that Firebolt is quickly running into though is like his answers to Metagross are dwindling. It is mostly like Zero Aura that can like get a chunk in and resist a Bullet Punch. The biggest threat to this Metagross, honestly, is itself, because its item is Life Orb.
Yeah, and now that it's at 11%, and it's switching out, and there's Stealth Rocks in the field, next time it comes out, it will just, you know, wind up going down to the Life Orb recoil. And now we're able to threaten out Umbreon just by clicking Moonblast over and over again.
Yeah,
thanks
but
to which it will get back, but...
Yeah, but like unfortunately, like because of the like leftovers combined with Wish, also like Wish still having 16 PP is fucking disgusting. Somehow like that Ninetales is just unable to break this Umbreon. It's just like how bulky it is. Yeah, the Toxic on the Zero Aura, you know, it is quite nice. It's nice, like some chip damage on there, making sure it gets low so something else can finish it off. Porygon comes in. This thing has been scarfed every single week.
Yeah, this was the most obvious Scarfmon. And here we do get a very unfortunate crit, which now turns this into, how do you stop Scarf Porygon Z? You don't. You just roll to it.
Yeah. It is a shame because both Darkrai and Nidoking do learn Sucker Punch, which would have been nice here, but because they tend to be special attackers, they often don't run it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the crit is obviously very unfortunate, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to say if it mattered too much in the end game. Not to say that like it basically could have turned like a 3-0 to a more like potential 1-0.
It turns the end game like a bit more complicated for sure, because you have the position where like Umbreon is chipped low enough that a Moonblast from Ninetales like isn't enough to kill it, so like he would have to go for like a double Protect play.
Yeah.
Darkrai is potentially able to kill with a Focus Blast, but that's Focus Blast, and we've seen how that works out with Fireball before.
Yep.
And Nidoking we've seen before, like, just isn't able to break that Umbreon, and like it would just need to protect once in order to get it back up. The Metagross is in the awkward position where it's at 11% HP. It'll lose 6 of it when it comes in on rocks, and because it has Life Orb, it can fire off 1 move.
At that point, it is just kind of like it's like you say, it's just complicated.
Yeah, you get into a really funny situation where like the best, like if the Ninetales lives and kills this Porygon Z, then Lysander goes out into Metagross to threaten the Ninetales. You get into the funny position where the best move for Lysander is to not click Bullet Punch and hard switch into Umbreon, and for Firebolts to be like, I'm going to sack my Darkrai or my Nidoking, probably Nidoking more, to the Bullet Punch so I can like get in my other Pokemon again safely.
Which in that situation, like, I don't even know if he would do that, because why would you at that point?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird step because he needs to preserve the Ninetales for like the guaranteed kill on Umbreon.
Yeah.
So if he then like switches into Nidoking to sack it to Bullet Punch, but Lysander like goes into Umbreon. It's messy, it's weird, and I don't like. It's a very like high concept play, like having like, just like a guaranteed kill on a Pokemon and not using it because it actually makes you lose. I don't know. This game can get like funky sometimes, but like the crit happened on Ninetales, it kills it, and it ends up not mattering at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, would you like to introduce our next match?
The second match.
Yep.
Played in week 7. Well, I guess not played, but like that we're gonna go over. It's Kui of the Sydney Sylveons versus Claire of the Maryland Manectrics. And this one is important for Kui, because if Kui doesn't win this one, then she's out.
Yeah.
And this one is important for Claire, because if she's able to win this one, then the ball's in Cody's court. Cody just needs to win his match and he'll stay on top. If he loses, he'll fall below Claire.
Yeah, this is very important for Claire to potentially take that first place spot. And I mean, looking at the match, team preview, I mean, like, look at Kui's team. It's more or less the same. It's just now we have Breloom instead of, what was it? Palmot. We trade out one fighting type for a different fighting type.
Yeah, Kui with the double fighting type. There's Breloom also like being allowed to Terra.
Yeah.
Coming in as Terra fighting this time because low-key, Mach Punch into Claire's team goes kind of hard.
Yeah. The only resist is the Masquerain and...
at least by default.
Yeah, at least by default. And the Terra Captain Avaloy, which is running Terra Poison this time around. I think there's also potential for Flame Body on Mad Cargo. If I remember correctly.
True.
Yeah.
But surely Cargo is like a weak armor Shell Smash with a Focus Sash.
Maybe.
Surely. And surely we'll see it this match. Surely
we'll see.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's get
underway. Let's hop into it, see how it goes.
So, immediately not wanting to take a Draco on Hydrapple, I can't possibly imagine why. And yeah, that is 100% AV Alolan Mug.
Yeah. I helped Kui build these teams, and Claire's team is very min-max. A lot of her Pokemon have a high defense on one end and a lot less on another. Mm-hmm. So we made a lot of her Pokemon mixed. That Dragapult had the potential to kill that Muck with Dragon Darts, but Kui ends up not going for it. And even it living on 1 HP doesn't matter because it just Dracos into this thing.
Yep. And here, Rocky Helmet on Hydrapple, just gonna be very annoying. Able to get up Substitute, so it can't be toxic either. At this point, looking at the teams, Kui's like biggest offensive answers, especially for Terra Avalugg, are more or less gone.
Yeah, like the only real chance she has left is like trying to get something going with the special moves on Victini. But like even then, like you're just like threatening so much. Like we do have this Milotic here, and it just gets nuked by the Mirror Coat. Like good tech from Claire there.
Yeah, really, really smart with that play. And now at this point, Claire is able to kind of just turn on a creative mode and just start clicking buttons. Kui is forced to click whatever will do the most damage at this point, and just hope that eventually she can whittle Claire down.
Yeah, Kui is not like too used to like Kelking and or like understands the formula for like how damage works like in her head, so she can just like gauge like which attacking move is the best, which is she's just throwing everything out here, seeing what sticks, and the answer is nothing. Nothing sticks to the Avalugg.
Yeah, Avalugg is able to just keep clicking recover.
Yeah, Claire just deciding like I'm done playing around with this. I'm gonna go fuck around with Masquerade.
Yeah. Goes back out into Hydrapple. Able to chip it down more with Earth Power and Rocky Helmet. Funny, it does seem to be speed creeping again, so it can outspeed Hydrapple and get a Toxic.
I mean, Hydrapple's like pretty damn slow, and by default, I believe Registeel's faster.
Oh, never mind. I just don't remember my speed tiers.
I mean, like I've used both of these Pokemon, so like I'm somewhat familiar with them.
Yeah.
Registeel definitely isn't fast, but like Hydrapple's like base, like what 44? I want to say off the top of my head.
Oh damn! I thought it was at least a little bit faster.
It's a big apple. It's sitting on the floor. What do you want it to do?
I don't know. Roll.
I mean, I guess the Pokemon isn't the apple. It's like the worm inside.
Yeah. Either way,
the worm inside me and everyone's voice.
Claire opting to save Hydrapple, trying to save that nice juicy diff. Goes out into Diancie on a Scorching Sand. Mega Evolves, going for Power Gem. Trying to make Mega Diancie do some work, and then forgetting that because we're Mega, our defense is lower, so Mach Punch will just kill.
Yeah, and immediately back into Avalugg and back to just the status quo of nothing ever happens.
Yep. That being said, still want to throw out there, Claire has once again thrown Mega Diancie away. Just saying.
Yeah, it wasn't hard to like just have this like be a 6-0 still, but make Koei feel like a little bit less bad by killing one Pokemon. So I believe this means that Koei never got 6-0.
That is true. Koei never got 6-0'd. No, Claire is addicted to throwing away Mega Diancie, constantly trying to prove me wrong that they're not throwing away Mega Diancie, and then in doing so, proves me right almost every single time. I think there was one game, I want to say it was like week 5.
I get the weird feeling that like Claire is like a flat earther, but her belief is that Mega Diancie isn't a fraud, and every time she tries to prove it, she just ends up proving the contrary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, like this Avalugg is proving too much for Koei. Koei losing, so she will not be moving on to playoffs. Meanwhile, Claire winning puts the ball into Spood's court. He has to win his match to maintain his first place position.
Yes. If Spood does not win his next match, then Claire will overtake, and Spood will drop down to second. But that's the final match of this week. Now we get to look at another important match, which is Not Pimp, coach of the Kracked Kricketunes, versus Shamal, coach of the Golden Gate Gibles. This is the match that Not Pimp needs to win the most, because winning this not only means that he gets to go into playoffs, but also means that he has potential to knock Shamal out of playoffs as well. So both of these players are going to be basically playing their ass off. Shamal, once again, hey, this team looks really familiar.
Man, I wonder who came up with it.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is a logical consequence of the draft that he made.
I wonder. And then not Pimp. No Cinderace this time. No sticky web shenanigans. Just good old, or at least no getting sticky webs on his side shenanigans, I should say. But we do see the funny bear. We see Terra fighting Bisharp, trying to come in to take down his father.
Daddy?
Daddy? Papa? Yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say here. Do you have any thoughts before we start?
Good luck, have fun.
Alright.
See Galvantula, we see Pelipper, and this time Shamal does just like hard switch out the Pelipper as to not immediately eat shit against the electric type
yeah.
move.
And here, the funny bear sees a funny bridge and is like, oh god, I would love to eat that so bad. No, not a substitute.
Yeah, so you would think that Archelodon isn't all that fast. It's base 80 speed.
I was gonna say, I remember it being like deceptively fast. That Thunder is still breaking the sub, by the way. Insane. Here we do see another Thunder coming out.
Oh, 85 even. It's even faster than I thought. Oh, fuck this thing. It's so fast.
And at this point, now we're just training Pokemon.
True, we're like this thing just dropping a fat Draco. This Tornadus Hurricane, it does confuse the Empoleon, which sucks ass.
That won't come back to bite us, though. We'll be
I mean, it's only like a 1 in 4 chance to hit your stuff, I believe.
Oops.
Yeah, so like a 20% confusion into, I believe, a 1 in 4 to hit yourself? 1 in 4, 1 in 3?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And this Bisharp, unfortunately, like, it just does not have the moves to deal with Pelipper, so it is forced out. Pelipper hitting this Empoleon again with a Hurricane. This thing getting confused again.
You turning out, okay.
Yeah, but,
fine.
surely it's not going to just like, we got Scald. Oh, never mind, So it's a 1 in 5, a 1 in 5, a 1 in 4, and another 1 in 4. It's a 1 in 400.
Yeah. So we lose our Empoleon randomly to Confusion. Here we're going for a read, predicting that like maybe Tornadus or Pelipper is going to come out on the Ursaluna, but instead we opt to stay in, risking a huge headlong rush. Kingambit comes back out to predict a Sucker Punch. And at this point, it's just, it's father and son.
It is father and son bonding time. Pimp opting to, again, like, try to go for a read. That's Shamal will switch out, goes for a low kick instead. Mm-hmm. Or a knockoff instead, and ends up leaving the substitute alive. It does get there eventually, but, like, this Bisharp is so chipped.
Yeah, at this point now, everything is like chipped down really low. Pelipper's able to come back out, get up the rain again. And we do manage to get rid of Tornadus, but now there's a lot of just scary members left over. We've got Ludicolo still alive as well. And now it gets to just click Ice Beam.
Yep, it's good into Pimp's whole team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Going for Protect, probably to stall out the rain turns, a cheeky Encore just to, keep them just clicking Protect over and over, but Pimp is fine with this, again, just at this point, just trying to outstall the rain, basically.
Yeah, like just, I'm not sure, like, how fast, Tatsugiri is, if it would outspeed a, Ludicolo.
I want to say
Double check.
Tatsugiri is 85 as well, actually. Either way, it doesn't matter because it's frozen solid.
Yeah, so like the bad luck continues.
Yep.
And it's actually like so heinous to watch all of these
Yep.
all of like Pimp's matches, because like pretty much like every loss he's taken, or at least like most losses he's taken, have just been due to like heinously bad RNG. Like not just bad RNG, but downright awful RNG. It's crazy.
If Not Pimp does not win the Dippy for worst luck in this season, it's rigged. I'm just saying, it's so rigged.
Honestly, like he deserves like literally like every entry like on that thing. I can kind of expect like when we get to the Dippies, this is going to be like, and the Dippy nominations for worst luck. The nominees are Pimp,
Not, and Not Pimp.
Pimp, comma, not.
And one more, the Kracked Kricketunes.
Yeah, Pimp, not Pimp, and the Kracked Kricketunes.
I imagine what will actually be is like, and the nominees this season, there's only one. Instead, enjoy this slideshow, and it's just the In the Arms of an Angel.
Yeah, no, like Pimp getting like burned out by so many fucking like actually like this is just the universe sending you a message. I'm sorry, dude. Like it's trying to tell you this season wasn't the season, apparently.
Yeah, it's trying to tell you that apparently Scarlet and Violet just sucks.
True. Or Showdown does.
Or Showdown. Maybe Champions will be better.
Maybe Champions will be better, because like aside from that, like we also have. Actually, I won't say it because it's spoilers for different division. But we have one more match with the Gibles beating the Kricketunes. The doors open for Milo. If he is able to take this win, he will have 4 wins, which puts him over both Kui and the Kracked Kricketunes, sliding him into playoffs at the last possible moment. He's been like sort of like flopping in and out of it all season, starting out strong, losing a bit in the middle, and now trying to make that comeback. But it's an uphill battle because his comeback match is like his final match here is against Spood. Milo of the Canadian Clod Squad and Spood of the Southtown Sandslashers.
Yes. Spood has kind of, well, for the most part, been sitting pretty comfortable in first place for the majority of this season. But they did drop to Claire last week?
Yep.
Yeah, last week. So, Spood wanting to keep it just one loss. And definitely does not want to throw a game away to Milo right now. And I mean, looking at the teams, you see a lot of the usual suspects from Spood, but from Milo, you see Gloom. Just a whole ass Gloom.
Just a whole ass Gloom, and also, like the mascot Jumpluff is here, the first pick every time.
Every time. But yeah, this is going to be, I can already see this is like going to be a pretty interesting match. If you've ever seen Vileplume in Draft, that thing can be pretty annoying. Strength Sap, Grass and Poison is like a fairly annoying typing to break through sometimes. And yeah, there's not a whole lot else to say other than to get into the match, I think.
Yep. Let's see how it goes. We got a Grafai, like a Pokemon that's very much been growing on Spoods towards the end of the season.
Yep, and we have a Great Dust, which we don't like seeing.
Yeah, immediately like knock off, getting rid of the Violite on this Corsola, and a Headlong Rush finishing it off. Like at -1 attack, 2-shotting a Corsola is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to knock off the Evolite, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess not Corsola, the Corsola, but Galar Corsola with Violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, nasty crit too with the Aura Sphere.
Opting to get
Food
up.
playing a little bit like passively, like getting up the rocks. Rapid spin away immediately. This Palafin ends up taking like a bunch of damage. Zero to hero activates, but Milo, like reading the switch because, you know, like before Palafin transforms is kind of bad, goes for the ice type move and ends up nailing the Garchomp with it.
Yeah, that is kind of the biggest problem with Palafin is when you first see it come out, and you know it's definitely not going to just start clicking Jet Punch right away. You can kind of just like, okay, well, what are they switching out into? What can I hit for the hardest amount of damage? And Ice Spinner was pretty free into the majority of Spoot's team.
Yeah. Also, we see the funny interaction there with Magic Bounce and Strength Sap, and also setting up the sun, and then eating a fire type move that's not boosted and killing you.
Yep.
Kind of funny. And here we see the future side attack actually taking out the Great Tusk. Like good setup from Spoot there.
Yeah. And from here we opt to go back out into Katarine getting a nice little sidekick. But now, you know, looking at Spoot's team and looking at Milo's team, what is our answer to Gloom?
Yeah, Gloom is starting to look like a bit tricky because, like, Grafai can do some funny stuff. Actually, Tricks hit a Friend Ball here.
Yeah.
Taking it to Violet in turn, so both of them just have a useless item now.
Yep.
The Friend Ball is cute. Shame Spoot didn't like go for some kind of like choice item to like lock this thing. But it does like keep his Grafai like useful, like even before tricking. So I kind of get it.
Yeah, no, I get it too. And it's always nice to have like a funny little cute button, you know.
Yeah, and like, you know, Milo and Spoot, like they're also like friends, so yeah, you gotta be like a little bit cute with one another, especially like in the last week here. Yeah. Even that Spoot like knows that like he is guaranteed playoffs. He's just playing to like keep his seeding. Meanwhile, like Milo is like sitting here and potentially like like this thing is yeah, this Gloom is like borderline unkillable for this the team that's left. Yeah. Cody is able to do like some cute stuff with like the copycat copying Strength Sap and healing this thing back up a little bit, so he's able to like stay like in the game somewhat. But like Milo like putting it to sleep and like leech seeding it, and it's just like bad times all around. And this Gloom like has just like such an easy time like keeping its HP like healthy, like way above like way in the range of like being safe.
Yeah, trying to get something started by going into a substitute, maybe predicting like Sleep Powder or something like that.
Yeah, either Sleep Powder or Strength Sap.
Yeah, but there's no reason to not just keep clean Giga Drain at this point. Ice Punch doesn't even like kill from that range. Which, you know, that's also assuming we have Ice Punch. And at this point, Gloom is able to just sit here and be comfortable, get full HP back from one Strength Sap.
Yeah, unlike Grafai too. Like Grafai, I believe has 115 base attack, so it's not a slouch. But like, given that this thing is like a support with like no offensive moves on its own, I doubt it's like attack invested. So like even like with that, it's just Strength Sap's a dumb move. Is what I'm trying to get at. Milo does like play the end game well there, realizing that with the copycats, Grafai can still be like a pain and stall out this Gloom. Opts to stop using it and like instead starts like Giga Draining it to death, putting it to sleep in the last couple of turns, so it can heal up like when it does need to. Just, you know, like all around well played. Spoot unfortunately like not having ice type coverage like on the Palafin again for the second week in a row ends up biting him a little bit. It's still a dire situation because like the jump bluff is still there and still like if it's like a bit more offensive, like I guess we do see it's leech seed, so it's not like as offensive inclined. But if it has like seed bomb or acrobatics, it's probably still like good enough to round things out.
Yeah. But with that, now we can take a look at our week 7 standings. Since I took the last one, do you want to lead us through the top 4?
Yes, top 4 and moving on to playoffs. In order are in first place, the Maryland Manectrics 6-1 with +10 differential. In second place, the Southtown Sandslashers 5-2 with +8. In third, the Golden Gate Gibles 5 wins, 2 losses with 6 differential. And finally, the Canadian Clod squad squeaking in at the last possible moment with 4-3, +5 differential.
Yep. And then in 5th place, we have the Kracked Kricketunes at 3-4 with a differential of 4. We have the Sydney Sylveons at 6th place with 3-4 as well, but with a differential of -8. We have the Northern Ninetales at 7th, sitting at 1-6 with a differential of -10. And then finally, we have the San Antonio Jolteons, also 1-6, but with a differential of -15.
So what are your takeaways from this division?
Gosh, I mean, like, Claire had a bit of a comeback story, honestly. Claire was not doing too hot at the start of the season, but kind of quickly, like, started picking up win after win, albeit very close wins, but then started, like, kind of adopting a more, like, tanky playstyle, really playing into the bulk of her team, and finding a way to really, like, not only start getting those wins, but start excelling more with those wins. Start getting more and more differential as the week went on. Meanwhile, Cody had such a strong start. But I do feel maybe played it a little bit too safe the last couple of weeks. Not opting to go for anything like too crazy, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, meanwhile, like we do see like the Golden Gate Gibles with like basically the same team week to week, only like swapping out Ludicolo for Rillaboom whenever it's appropriate.
Yeah, or that one week where they ran a regular Basculin.
Yeah, and we saw like Wishcash at some point as well. Disappointing as ever.
Yep.
But like he made it work. 5-2, like only dropping 2 games. Like that's good. Like that's a good ass win rate to end up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, the Clod squads, like they started off with, I believe, a win and then a loss and another loss and then 2 wins in a row. Actually, no, it's win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, win.
Yep.
So like they were very like flip floppy, like, but they did get there at the end. Like squeaking in, like getting that like precious 4th win.
Yeah.
And then the Kricketunes. Oh god, the Kricketunes. I feel so bad, dude.
Listen, I will sit here, hand on chest. The Kracked Kricketunes honestly was kind of robbed this season. It was just bad luck after bad luck. There was also a couple times where like they were trying to make like some big reads to kind of make up for the bad luck, and they just weren't working out, unfortunately. Which is a shame because I also think they had the most creative team. The idea to
I love the team. The team was sick. Like the self-sabotage, defiant proc and competitive proc, especially like making. Like the Giga Brain of making Galarian Articuno a Terra Captain so it can be grounded, so it can actually like get hit with the sticky webs and get competitive going.
It was such a genius plan, and unfortunately just RNG, like, I mean, not always RNG, but like, it's just bad, like a lot of bad luck and a lot of like misreads just kept it from really like shining and showing off just how devastatingly strong that team can be.
Yeah, it's a big shame that we suddenly like have to see it here. We don't get to enjoy it any longer.
Yeah.
On a more positive note, though, like the Sydney Sylveons, newcomer coming in with very little Pokemon experience, often forgetting to Mega Evolve the fucking Absol, taking 3 wins. Yeah. Honestly, like for newcomer, huge W. That's a huge win for newcomers, which like so many of the newcomers did so great.
I would say, like can't speak about it here too much, but there are some newcomers in Rocket Division I'm very, very proud of.
I feel there's a bias here.
I mean, maybe with one of them.
Honestly, I could say both, but then again, like I'm also like biased for the Sylveons because they're my friend.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like, Fireball, a bit of a tragic story. Fireball is, like, looking at his history, it is extraordinarily inconsistent.
Yeah.
He has seasons where he like pretty confidently makes it into playoffs, and he has seasons where it's just like 1 win and that's it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that is this season this time around, where he gets his 1 win and then that's it.
And then just ends up flunking out at every other match, unfortunately. Yeah. Some RNG involved, like the last week here, like it was RNG like taking it from him.
Yeah.
But like some of them were also just like unfortunate decision making moments.
Yeah. That does mean, though, that Firebolt next season has the potential, or has the higher potential to now just be a random monster, and just, take so many games from people all the time. Every season he goes like 1-6. The next season, or there's the higher likelihood that next season is a 6-1.
I don't know if he's ever had a result that good, but like he has definitely like done a lot better than this.
Yeah.
And I do hope to see him bounce back in the next season. And finally, we have the San Antonio Jolteons, another newcomer, picking up that one like little like nice last win to end off on, and ending it with a happy note.
Yeah.
And like I'm glad that they didn't go without a win.
I am too.
That's just, like it always feels better when you didn't get wiped every week.
Yeah. No matter what, I always want every player, new or old, toxic or not toxic,
friendly,
whimsy, I guess, to always get at least 1 W. Just 1.
Yep. So yeah, I feel like that's the story of Skull Division.
Yep.
It's now up to the top 4 to carry the Skull Division handle, carry on the spirit of the Kricketunes, to avenge them for like kicking them out, I guess.
Yep.
Try and like take it all the way.
Yes. And you can see all that coming up in the following weeks, seeing how far they do carry that torch. But in the meantime, if you want to see how Week 7 turned out for some of the other divisions, me and Spood will be covering the Magma Division.
Cabral and I will be checking out Aqua Division.
And then Spood and Cabral will be covering the Rocket Division.
And with that, that's season 8. That's a wrap. We're done with the main season, at least.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all in playoffs.
Yeah, and thank you all for playing too.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.